All right, you ready? You're gonna be texting the whole time.
Sorry, I'm trying to see if I'm gonna like this guy on Hinge.
Oh, are you?
His name's Gustavo, and his arms are great.
That sounds like a yes. I was gonna say.
I mean, I can't like go on a date with him anyway.
Right, but you could talk to him on, over Hinge. Maybe have a FaceTime date. That'd be cute. Go to a park after like several weeks.
Life sucks! Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of 2 Gay Mats. It's Matt Steele.
And it's Matt Palmer.
And we have another patron request video.
Yes!
I think we have like 3 that we need to do.
And we can do it. That's the thing, is there's been so much new music and like things happening in the world that like we had to talk about. So we apologize for the lateness, but they are upcoming.
Yes, if you would like to find out how you can do a patron request video, you can check the link below and become a patron and request videos of your own.
Yes.
So this comes to us from Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
And Thomas wanted us to react to the singer Phoebe Bridgers' album Punisher, which came out, I believe, June of this year.
Yes, I believe so.
I remember hearing about her before, but I never listened to any music, and I always got her name confused with Phoebe
Waller-Bridge. Yeah, so they're very similar. I mean, it makes sense that they'd be confused. So.
Yes, both really, really funny and quirky.
All right.
One has an Emmy and one does not. But the one that does not, we are going to listen to today.
Yes.
So Phoebe Waller-Bridge does not have a 2 Gay Mats patron request
That's
video.
true, and that's what she's always wanted.
Yes.
We all have known that. It's just in the ether.
Yeah, so Phoebe Bridgers is winning in the game of life right now.
And I know she got her start at 20 years old when she met Ryan Adams.
Okay.
And
That's Mandy Moore's ex, huh?
Yes, and that is another person who has come out and spoken out against him.
Phoebe Bridgers.
So we love her already. Punisher, I definitely heard about it. I think our friend Corey had been like, you should listen to this, you should listen to this. And I'd be like, maybe. And I just never got around to it.
Yes, but Thomas, we listen to Thomas.
Exactly. Thomas carries so much more weight.
I know. Fuck Corey.
I know, we don't know her. We start off on the album.
Yes.
And we have a song titled DVD Menu. And I'm like, okay, so we're getting into it. It's like, what does it mean? It's so deep. And it's like, oh no, it's like the DVD menu sounds.
Yeah.
I was expecting a melody and a song about DVD menus, but it wasn't that. It was just like, this is the DVD menu of the album. And it's like, you know what? I appreciate that. But then we get into Garden Song. So Matt Steele.
Yes.
How do you feel about Garden Song?
So Garden Song, what's happening?
It seems like she's back at her old home, or like she's back where she's growing up, but it's also gone up in flames, but except for the frames, which still have the notches on the wall. I remember that moment.
Yes. First of all, spoiler alert, this song is very lyrically driven.
Yes, I mean, the album is very lyrically driven.
The whole album, I meant to say, is very lyrically driven.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I started listening to it while I was in my car, and my car has a lot of bass.
Yes.
So it's a little hard for me to hear lyrics when like also the production is very echoey.
Right, I mean.
So I was like, okay, I can't listen to this song in the car.
Yes.
So when I was listening to Garden Song, I was like, okay, it's about growth and growing up. I know that because I love the sort of first verse where it's like, how did you get so tall?
Yeah.
Like she's talking to someone else and then she's sort of talking to herself like, I got taller.
I got tall.
So there's a lot to dive into lyrically with just this song and the whole album itself.
Yes.
But this song was the one I was most confused by.
I mean,
which is interesting because it was the first single, and I think it's like the most heady of all of them, in my opinion.
I could see that, and I enjoy it very much. I think it's actually a nice song. It's probably in my upper half of the album.
Okay.
But I am also a little confused.
Okay.
But I like the picture we're painting. I like the flowers that have grown. I like the notches in the frame. So I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's not for me to know.
Yeah, I agree. It paints a very nice picture.
Yes.
You really get a sense of where she's at.
And like sonically and musically, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
So I think it's a good introduction to the album. Probably wouldn't have been my choice for a first single, but I think like starting off an album in this way, I think is nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kyoto, I really like.
I like
Kyoto a lot.
My only issue with this one is kind of your I'm in the car with too much bass moment, is I feel like I love the production of the song, I love the vibe of the song, but for someone who is so lyrical, I feel like the production almost drowns her out in those choruses. I'm like, wait, what's being said? And so I want to hear every word because I know that the lyric is such at the forefront, but especially in the verses, I love the lyrics throughout. My favorite lines are when she's talking about how the guy, whoever she's talking about, called her brother on his birthday. It was 10 days late, but you still get points for that.
I know. I love it. I love how she's just like, this town in Japan still has payphones.
Exactly.
I really liked the verses a lot because the first verse you're kind of just like, oh, she's talking to an ex or something who has some sort of substance abuse problem, and then you get to the second verse and you're just like, oh, she's talking to her dad. And you're just like, oh, I love that.
That's great.
And I think it's a little bit of a bop too. It's definitely the biggest up tempo on the album.
Yes, and she's spending her day off, and you know she thought she was having a day off, but she still wrote a song about it. So that's working hours. I hope you clocked that in. Punisher made me sad for some reason. I get that.
I also looked this song up, and apparently Punisher is like a term for like an annoying stan, kind of. Like someone who like lingers too long at like rock concerts or
interesting.
Something like along those lines.
All right.
I looked it up very quickly and I just like brushed past it.
Yeah, this one didn't like super jump out at me. I feel like the whole thing about this album is like sonically, it's probably I'm not the target audience, but I do see myself being drawn to certain songs, being like, oh, this is really lyrically interesting, or this melody's really exciting, or I love the production or the arrangement. And like this song for me, it didn't have any of those like jumping off points for me to really connect with, so I feel like I was floating away from it a bit.
I think it's the song I remember the least after having listened to the album twice all the way through, which is interesting because it's the title track.
Right, it is surprising.
So, I don't know. Halloween.
It's interesting, she jumps from topic to topic. Those lines about like, she's talking about a murder that happened downtown and like some guy got killed, he was from out of town. But you know, it's Halloween. We can wear whatever we want.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the connection with there are these crimes happening and there's all this stuff happening, but like, but we can wear whatever masks we like. I guess maybe it's sort of like, are we pretending like it's not happening, or are we pretending like everything is fine in our relationship, even though like bad stuff's happening with us and all around us.
Right.
Again, another one where it's just like,
if someone knows, please write in the comments. Tell us why we didn't understand Halloween. It's cute. It's singable. The chorus is very singable.
Yes. This part of the album from here on out I think is much stronger, I think, than the beginning.
Chinese satellite.
I know!
I cannot stop listening to this song.
It's so good.
The arrangement, the melody, the production, the lyrics. This is firing all cylinders. This is first single. How is this not a fucking single yet?
This was the art. We've got lyrics, we've got melody, we've got production. It felt like a whole movement, like the way it grew. It's the best song on the album.
Absolutely. Those strings. Those strings when this, because then at the beginning you're like, yeah, she sings pretty songs, has a pretty acoustic guitar. And then when that chorus hits and everything drops out and the strings are underneath, you're like, wait!
I know.
Wait!
I love the idea of like, I'm looking for stars and I want there to be stars, so I'm like praying on a Chinese satellite.
And it's like, I don't want to be alone, you know, I hate to be alone, I just need something. Is this the song where she's like, I feel like I look up and I'm gonna see like something guiding me home or something like leading me home, and at the end of it, the second chorus through, and I'm just like, fuck! Yes! I love everything about this song.
Moonsong I think is nice.
Moonsong I think is nice as well.
Moonsong is good, but it's sandwiched in between my two favorites.
Oh! I mean, I think I like Moonsong. What does she say in Moonsong? Oh, she says, like a dog with a bird at your door. I feel like it paints a very vivid picture of like, this is a guy that she did not have a real relationship with, but like, it's like, if you're gonna pick anyone to make out with, I was the one who was the most in love with you. And then it goes from like, I remember when we were together and we argued about John Lennon, and I couldn't sleep and I cried.
The whole, she's saying we both hate the song Tears from Heaven. And it's like, who hates that song?
but you know, we thought it was sad his baby died. And it was like,
so your heart's in the right place. You're like, girl, listen to that song again, because that song's perfect. Okay.
And then at the end, she's like, you're sick, you're married, you might be dying, but yeah, you still hold me like water in your hands. It's like, fuck!
That's a beautiful line.
She is in. She's in. So I think lyrically, storytelling-wise, I like Moonsong a lot.
Yes, I agree that lyrically, Moonsong is very, very, very strong.
Yes.
The Savior Complex is great. I think that's a song that like has the great lyrics and also like the great melody. Again, I think a little stronger melody-wise than Moonsong.
Okay.
Which is why I prefer it to.
I need to listen to it again. I like it, but I was more drawn to the story of Moonsong. I See You, I Love. She should have called the song I Hate Your Mom.
Absolutely.
It's just like that whole part. I'm like, again, I was listening to it. I was like, yes, yes, yes. And she's like, I hate your mom. I was like, oh.
I hate it when she opens her mouth.
It's funny how people who have the least to say can like talk the most or whatever. I'm like, woo!
I looked that up as well.
Yes.
Apparently, I think this song was the song about the drummer in her band.
Oh.
And I think she got into a fight with his mom at the grocery store about Donald Trump.
I mean, I knew it was Trump. You could hear, you could feel that it was Trump. I can't believe anytime that like his mom comes to one of his shows and like she plays this, it's like, this goes out to you, bitch. I mean, it makes sense because she's like, you won't even drum for me anymore, and I never know what I love or like what I like until I fuck it up, and you're just like, Graceland 2.
Graceland 2 I think is sweet.
It is sweet.
I think it's very pretty. I like it's sort of a more acoustic-y moment as opposed to like a ethereal moment.
Right. I'm also a little confused about what's happening here just because she's like, well, now that she's no longer a threat to herself or others, is she coming out of like, that's like how it starts. I'm like, is she in like a mental hospital? Is she just coming out of a depression and now she's going on a drive and like Elvis songs comes up? Like, I would just like to know because that opening line gives me some questions I'd like answered.
I know the end. When I first listened to it, I was like, I do not like this. And then I listened to it a second time and I was like, oh,
no, it's great, especially the very end of it.
Yes.
It is those chants, unbelievable.
Yes, and it's just all these random things that because the song I gather is basically just like her not happy on tour or whatever, like kind of just like being over it.
Yes, like maybe I could just be in my room, there's no better place, there's no place I'd rather be.
Yes, and I'm kind of just like, girl, I would love to be in your shoes, but whatever. But you know, I get it. Sometimes with fame comes hard things and blah blah blah.
These are things Matt Steele does not really believe, just so we're all clear.
But when she's just like listing off all the amazing things that she's seeing, and she's like this and this and this, and everything she's describing sounds fucking awesome. My favorite part of that though is when she's like, this house that's probably haunted, and I go there and ghost my friends because it's like
I do like that.
She's busy living her life, and now she feels like she's just living this life of seeing all these random things but not attached to anything.
Right.
So I think that's a song that really, like, the second time around, I was just like, oh no, I'm crazy for not liking this song the first time.
No, that song is great. I also feel like there are a few callbacks to earlier songs. Like she says something about like having a bird.
The dead bird.
The dead bird comes back up.
Gross.
The dead bird comes up, and also I don't know if this might be a stretch, but I feel like the whole like UFO, like I'm not alone thing really gives me Chinese Satellite again. And I think it is nice and a nice nod to the album and a nice finale.
Yes.
And like it feels very much like a musical ending, like the ending of a musical, or at least an end of an act one, where it's like, let's remember where we came from, like how we got here. And I think it's lovely. It's the finale.
It's the finale. That is a finale song if I ever heard one.
And you know what I was thinking throughout this album? Why do I have such trouble with folklore and I like this so much?
Because you can tell that this is what she does.
Well, now we said it.
Like, honestly, there were some great things that Taylor did in folklore.
Yes.
You can tell that she likes this type of music, but it's not her wheelhouse.
Right, and this is her wheelhouse. Okay,
yes.
I get it. Because again, a lot of it's not for me, but I really found myself responding to it so much more. Like there were so many more songs that spoke to me in some way here. Not to compare, but you know, now they both were doing an alternative indie thing. There's a lot of echo on both. Both very lyrically strong, but whatever reason, I love the way that Phoebe's turns of phrase were just really interesting to me. And you know, there were obviously some really great melodic moments throughout, and again, Chinese Satellites is just a classic. Like it just needs to be in a movie. Like it's like cinematic, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. I urge you all to listen to it.
I agree. This was something interesting that I never would have listened to on my own accord.
Yes.
That I'm happy I listened to because there are some like really great songs.
Absolutely.
On there.
So thank you, Thomas, for opening our eyes.
Thank you, and thank you for being a patron.
Yes, and thank you all all for watching. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Matt Palmer Music.
And it's Matt Steele.
And at 2Gay Mats for both of us. If you want us to react to a video of yours, or that you would like us to, go to patreon.com/2gaymats. Listen to our podcast. It's called 2Gay Mats. And it comes out on Mondays. We love Montana. We love Richard. We love Adam Parnell.
Yes.
And we love all of you.
Oh, there's so many people we have to name.
I know.
We're just forgetting. I even messed up saying it's Matt Steele.
I know.
I was about to be like at 2Gay. It's Matt Steele.
There's a lot to do, much like Halloween, we have a lot to do here.
We lead complex lives.
It's
like,
true.
Like Phoebe's lyrics. We're kind of just like, what's happening?
Exactly.
I don't know, but I like it.
There are layers to this shit, much like there's layers to that shit. Love it. Love you all. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.